Hello, KZOOMers.
Hey, everybody.
We are coming to you
live from Mission Beach,
from the beach
in San Diego.
So
life is very good.
So we're looking at the waves and the tide. The tide is coming in. And I feel very blessed to be KZOOMing from the beach, and we are on this journey of love, and what guides us as the central text of is the Song of Songs. And each week, there's just one little piece of the song that then sends me on a journey of exploration and a journey to meet the challenges of love. So this week, the text, it says, "Your lips like a scarlet ribbon, and your voice so sweet. The curve of your cheek like a pomegranate hidden behind the thicket of your hair. Your neck is a tower of David built to perfection. 1,000 shields hang upon it, all the armor of heroes." So, in the text, the lovers are speaking to each other and giving each other great hallelujah praise. but hidden in their words are these kind of secrets to unlock. So that's it's sort of like over the top kind of praises of the beauty of this world, the beauty of the other, the beauty of the Shekhinah, the divine, immanent. But I'm always looking for these, these hidden treasures in the words. And this week, the hidden treasure comes to us with these words that are, it says your lips like a scarlet ribbon and your voice so sweet. But the word for your voice is also the word for your wilderness. Like it's the same word. It's a homonym. It's the same word to talk about the voice of God and the wilderness, which to me is kind of a clue that if I want to open to that sweet voice of the beloved, of the divine, then I have to risk the wilderness. I have to step into this place that's beyond my constructed, civilized world and open up to a voice that is speaking all of the time through that wilderness. And our ancestors always knew this. They always went to the wilderness to receive revelation, because it's sort of like the chatter of the world is so distracting that we need to sometimes like step outside this world that we've built and step into the wilderness. And for me, the wilderness right now is looking into the waves of the ocean, that kind of this vastness that keeps on coming in and crashing over me. But wherever wilderness, like any place could be the wilderness, when you kind of are in the place of listening deeply. And so what I'm hoping is that this KZOOM will clear away maybe some of the obstacles to listening. And listening is really kind of at the core of our tradition, is because if we really listen, that God is speaking to us all the time, but we don't always show up to listen, to receive that voice, to receive that revelation that is available to us. And so the inquiry is not only, what is that voice saying, but why don't I listen? What is the obstacle? What are my own distractions? What is the noise inside my head that keeps me from hearing that voice? And how do I meet it? How do I quiet the field of that divine? So we'll chant these words with that intention of getting ourselves like available to that divine voice. And the more that I do this practice, the more that I feel like what the divine voice is always saying to me is, I love you. And if only I could hear that voice, something in me would really relax, would really open. So let's enter into the song and into that mystery. And the English words that I add, it says, your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. So I want to take that wilderness out there and let it open the beauty and the power that is hidden within.
hashani siftotayich umidbarech naveh umidbarech naveh umidbarech naveh
hashani siftotayich
ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Kechut hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. כחוט hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Kechut hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. כחוט hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Kechut hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. כחוט hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Kechut hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך נבeh. כחוט hashani siftotayich, ומתברך נבeh, ומתברך in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery. Your voice in the wilderness calls out to me. Your beauty and power are my mystery.
If you close your eyes, bring your attention to the breath. And imagine yourself in a wilderness. Could be at the ocean or the forest or the mountain or in the red rocks. And just sense the vastness around you and open up your inner space to that vastness. Just making space inside, allowing the space out there to open up the space in here. So in that place of clarity, of like openness inside, and to allow that the voice to rise up within us, and to feel ourselves kind of filled with that, so that our own kind of chatter place, becomes a little bit less compelling, and that we want to be able to listen beyond the voices. And it's such an amazing thing that we're sitting. Rachmi and I are sitting here on our couch, and there's a boardwalk in front of us. Beyond the boardwalk is the vastness of the ocean. But walking by on the boardwalk, it's all of
The whole world.
the whole world walking by.
Every language, every kind of music.
And it's almost as if like the thoughts inside they represent like the thoughts inside my head.
We're meditating,
that are walking by, that those thoughts are walking by. Some of them have little boom boxes with them. And beyond the boardwalk of my mind, there is always this vast ocean there. And so it's the spiritual challenge is not to be so caught up in the boardwalk that I miss that there's an ocean beyond it. Really,
we come here for the metaphor.
we come for the metaphor.
We come for the metaphor.
We're a living metaphor. But where we live in New Mexico, we don't see people, So like people, so sometimes when we first came here, I said, to Rachmiel, like I'd say, I'm going out to see the wildlife. The wildlife on the boardwalk. So, and I want to be in the oceanic spaciousness to be able to receive each of those.
Yeah.
Those wild.
Simultaneously.
Right. So, so our challenge is listening, and this practice that I want to do that I call mindfulness is a practice from Isaiah, and he uses the word for the Shema to listen, and we know that in the Shema, which is this central prayer, the point of the Shema is to get us to echad, to that place of oneness consciousness, and it feels like everything that I do is towards that. all the practices that I do are pointing me towards oneness consciousness. And the very first thing, is to be able to say Shema, which means to listen. It also means to pay attention, and it also means to be obedient to that voice that is speaking to me, to really attend to it, to receive it, to follow it. So not only do we listen, but we really listen. So these words, Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. So God, as the oneness, is saying, listen, if you really listen to me, there is going to be this wholesome, healthy way that you will live your life. And the way that it's described is ve'ichlu tov. You're going to eat exactly what's good, in the right measure, and your souls will delight in the richness. So it's to come to that state of receptivity where everything that comes into me is God, really. So it's going to taste good, and it's going to delight me, and satisfy. And I'm not going to have too much of it. I'm going to have sort of be filled with a wisdom to know what measure to take in. So that's where we want to get to. We want to use this practice to step into a place of our of listening. And so whenever I chant, I have an intention, but that I also have an awareness of what gets in the way, and I want to put that on the altar of the chant. And so I want to ask you also to say, what keeps you from that place of mindfulness, from that place of awareness? What is it that keeps you from it? And or what is it that distracts you from the oneness? We're going to place that on the altar of the chant, and then fire up our intention. You want to put anything on the altar?
Well, it's just the only time I can't be present and pay attention is when I'm triggered. So I'm working, my life's work is to defuse those triggers. Yeah. Doing pretty good with it, but in progress, in my progress of them, I'm going to put it on the altar for speed it up a little.
Okay. So setting that intention for mindfulness. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Siftotayich, ikluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ikluto, ikluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ikluto, ikluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ikluto, ikluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ikluto, ikluto. Shim'u,
shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Shim'u, shamoah, aylai. Ve'kluto, ve'kluto.
also our sacred texts kind of give us this kind of a lure to say, oh, if you really listen, there are great rewards waiting for you. But there are some sacred texts that also say, hey, when you don't listen, there are consequences. And you might want to notice that. And I notice when I'm sort of not doing my practice, if I get really distracted, I can get lost, and I end up not receiving the richness of my life. So there is this amazing text in the 8th chapter of Proverbs, and it begins with this line that we're going to chant, and I call it listening to the voice of wisdom. And wisdom is kind of like the God, in our tradition is the goddess. She is Sophia. She is the goddess. She was there forever, before creation, and she is speaking to us through the earth, through creation, and she has a tone of voice that is so kind of like has such authority, really, as such a kind of, I don't know whether it's a strictness or a gavura, or she's like has a great power that I hear through the earth, and you might even call it gravitas. That the earth is speaking to us through gravity, and is calling us to awakeness, really, and so this line that comes at the beginning of the chapter 8 is hello, which tells you that a question is coming. Hello is the word that means like there's going to be a question coming now. Chochma tikra. So Chochma is this place of gravitas, of wisdom, who is calling. And another name of her that's a little softer is tvuna, which is understanding. And she is raising her voice, and we're here to meet it. At the end of the chapter 8, and it sort of says there are great consequences when you don't listen. They're hard lessons in a way. And so that's why she speaks to us so clearly. She's calling each of us, and calling each of us into our power to step up, to play our part, really, of like who we're meant to be, and what we're calling the power in us forward. And I'm feeling it lately, because I'm going to turn 70 in 2.5 weeks, and
Wow.
I'm just
Wow.
and I'm feeling like there's this something calling me to sort of a new, or really probably it's always calling me, but now I'm listening. I'm listening.
Right. There's the difference.
So when I created this chant, I wanted to find a tone of voice that has this kind of spiritual authority in it. And I want to ask you, as you chant it, to find that tone. There's something about chanting, is finding the particular tone that awakens this chant is really important. Like that, I sit up really tall. I feel my crown kind of open up to the sky, and I feel my root go down deep into the earth. And I chant this to awaken myself, really. But to anybody else who is listening, I want to say, wake up. Step into your own power and truth and joyful responsibility. So everyone, find that posture, and find that tone in your voice to chant these words. Hello, Chochma, tikra, titayn, Hello, Chochma, tikra, titayn, Hello, Chochma, tikra, titayn, Hello, Chochma, tikra, titayn, Hello, Chochma, tikra, Hello,
tikra utvuna titayn kola.
So let's listen together. I'm going to put mine on mute here for a few minutes, and we can take this time just to go inside, to hear the voice of wisdom, to feel yourself called, and just begin just by following the breath into the deepest place inside your heart, to the listening heart. And then we can open ourselves up to a sense of that we are each called into our authentic self. So we come together to listen, and there's this way that when we are a spiritual community, we are amplifying each other's listening. You know, we're sending each other to our own truth, to the truth that is. And I'm sending you. You're sending me to the truth that is in us. And with if I was just listening on my own, it wouldn't be as powerful. And so there's this line towards the end of the Song of Songs that talks about the Chaverim Makshivim, and the words Chaverim Makshivim have become so important to me. They are the listening friends. That's who I want to be. I want to be with you. I want us to be the listening friends, and to have the quality of our friendship be one of listening, but listening not just to each other, but listening to that voice of the Shekhinah that is between us, that when we are really present for each other, then the Shekhinah is present. There is a divine mystery that arises between us, and the connection between us opens up that mystery. So we are the Chaverim Makshivim, listening for the voice of the Shekhinah, and we're praying. We're saying, let me hear it now. I'm ready to hear it. And the next line of the song says, "A woman in the garden," which is a name for the Shekhinah, is the woman in the garden. And as I was writing the chant, I said to the guides, I said, "Well, what garden?" And they said to me, "Oh, this garden of love." And at that moment, it's kind of a veil lifted, and I looked around and said, "Oh, that's what this world is. It's a garden of love." But I don't always see it. I often have a veil that keeps me from seeing this garden of love here in this world. So I want that veil to lift, and I want to be able to hear the voice that is always whispering to us. So I want to do this last practice with you, but to just take a moment to look around the KZOOM room, to send each other to the deepest listening place that's possible, and to be able to say, don't, it's not just listening, but trust that voice, trust it. And that when you listen to your voice of Shekhinah, it inspires me, it sends me to do my listening as well. My response, like that word responsibility, that I want to respond to that voice. And I was, last week, I wasn't at the KZOOM because I was in Mexico, and there's a couple of people here who were with me, and we were making art all week long in Mexico. And I felt like, and we were making art with clay, so I felt like what I was doing, as I was listening, really, I was listening to the flow of creativity that wants to pour through each of us. So to make ourselves available for that flow is to listen. And after I left and came back, I just said, "Oh, I want to live there all the time. I want to live in the flow of creativity. I want to be allowing that through all the time, in lots of different ways and different forms." So Chaverim Makshivim, I want you to hold me to that.
That's all you.
And I will hold you to your commitment as well. So let's do this practice for each other, to connect as the Chaverim Makshivim all around the world. And open to the flow of creativity, which is the voice of Shekhinah moving through us.
Chaverim Makshivim lekolei Hashmi'ini Chaverim Makshivim lekolei Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of
Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei, Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Chaverim Makshivim lekolei,
Hashmi'ini, Hashmi'ini. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice. Oh, woman in the garden, this garden of love, let me hear your voice.
So, I invite you again to open your eyes, look around the KZOOM room, to thank the Chaverim Makshivim, these so this, the idea of spiritual friendship is just so precious. I think I take it for granted sometimes, but any opportunity to sit in circle, to be able to turn our attention, kind of our shared attention together towards the mystery, is really so precious. And so I want to just invite you to, just like I open up the, kind of lift up the level of appreciation for that, for those circles that we get to be with. This KZOOM being one of them, but there are other circles of beloveds that you don't want to miss the opportunity to be Chaverim Makshivim for each other. So I appreciate you so much, and I'm going to stop the recording.